one of the biggest disagreements is too strong a word, but confusions about the QLA and everybody else is that some of my own mentees, I might add, the mini-me's running around, seem to profess that life's a journey. And I have taught for 24 years next month, and for about almost 50 years of my life, that it's not a journey. As I said, Tony Robbins and I and a few others agree that life or success leaves clues. And we talk a lot about modeling, mentoring, copying, whatever word you want to call it, kids. I don't give a shit, really. But if you want to be a 400, we had a very successful baseball player here a few seminars ago, and I asked him who's the greatest hitter, and I know the answer. Who's the greatest hitter of all time? Ted Williams, the last guy to bat over 400 American baseball. If golfers, Jack Nicklaus, who are you going to model yourself after? And you're going to model them after the greats. And so it's not a journey. A river meanders, as Napoleon Hill wrote, because it goes from hard place to hard place, and it finds the softest route. That's why a river meanders. And that's why most of you, and most of you watching this, have meandered through life, making it a journey. You are going to be given the processes, the procedures, the systems for super high performance success. And many of you in the past have used them to create generational wealth. And by generation, I've already talked about wealth that would normally take you 20 to 25 years, because that's what a generation is. In 5 to 7 years. 3 years, if everything is, the stars line up for you, which there's a handful of guys in 24 years that the stars have lined up. And they do it, 3 years seems overnight, but 7 years. But when you go back and you look at some of these great success stories, it takes these guys, 6, 7 years. Other than if you sell to Facebook for $1 billion in stock, or some of these things that happen just in a few months, it takes a while. So but this is a process. This is a systematic process, and unlike, for those of you that have been part of 12-step programs or know somebody in the 12-step program, Alcoholics Anonymous, et cetera, you stand up in the, hi, my name's Dan Peña, you don't say your last name. Hi, my name's Dan, I'm an alcoholic. My name's Dan, I'm a drug anonymous, whatever, a druggie, whatever. And then you go along, and 5 or 8 or 25 months later, you slip. And that's what they call it. Then you say, hi, I'm Dan, and I slipped, and I've only been sober now 7 hours. And they all go up and they give you a big hug and that shit, and they forgive you. I don't. This is not a forgiving motherfucking program. You slip all the way fucking out. So don't be expecting me when you fall off the fucking wagon. Oh, that's all right. Because it's not. It's not. You want one of those programs? There's 40 12-step programs that will love you when you fuck up. This ain't one of them. It's my way or the highway. 4 eyes. And that's what they used to call kids with glasses. Do they still call kids 4 eyes with glasses? And they hurt their feelings like that? Oh my God. How do they live? How do they get through life? With that fucking stigma. One of the times I got thrown out of school, expelled from school, this is grammar school. A guy, we're playing some kind of sport, and the guy cheated me. And he says, you won't hit me because I'm wearing glasses. Boom! I shattered it. In those days, you had real glass in the glass. Shattered it. It's the only time I've ever lost sleep over a bad thing I did. One time, because I thought he was going to lose his eyesight. No, I won't hit. Bam! I was doing it even when I was little. Now, I hadn't thought about that until I gave you the other analogy. The big guy hit, and I lucked out, and he fell down and dislocated his shoulder. But bam. The other time I got dislocated. The other time I got expelled from school. Again, we're fucking around playing ball of some sort, and the guy cheated me again. And I hit him again, knocked him down, and everybody that was around me heard a snap. I didn't. Or as they would say here, I didn't. You broke my arm, you broke my arm. Did I now? Now it's broken, you little fuck. And I broke it in 6, 7 places. And I wasn't the baddest guy in school. But it's like in prison. You go and, I'm told, you go take the baddest guy and then they leave you alone. I'd have no problem in prison. I'd take the biggest guy and I'd stab him right in the fucking eye with a fork. And then I'd have good time the rest of the time. I'd be working in the library, pushing cards, you know. No problem. No problem. And of course, the last time I got expelled, when they told me to leave the school district, is the famous time, and it's all on social media, the second floor of Doris Place Grammar School. I dropped the fish tank on my teacher, and by the grace of Allah, he moved. And I only hit him in the dislocated his shoulder, but that's when they said, the kid's out. We don't want him anymore. He's out. Now, if that had done, and I don't know what I was thinking anyway. I wasn't thinking, that's just the point. But if that had done the worst thing to the poor guy, I mean, I wouldn't be standing here. You know? I would have been running a drug cartel. Efficiently, I might add. Using QLA. This is a process that you're learning. Not a motherfucking journey. Journey are for also-rans. Do you think when Tiger Woods was at his prime, was that a fucking journey? No. His dad was training him since he's this big to win major golfing championships. But you kids, you're on a fucking journey. And the fucking melon heads that are watching on YouTube are on a journey. QLA is the shortest distance between A and B. And unless you figure out some sort of other geometry, it's the shortest distance. Now, you will take deviations from that. But as long as you're on the playing field, and as long as you're headed towards the goal, I pretty much leave you alone for the next 12 months. But if you get off the pitch, then I come in. There was a movie with, what the hell is that? Paul Newman, when he's in a chain gang. What's the name of the movie? Anyway. Okay, and the warden says, he brings him up and he's talking to him about, what we have here is a lack of communication. And some old redneck, right-wing Ku Klux Klan guy he's the head of the prison, and he hits him with a 2x4 in the head and knocks him down there and says, now we've cleared up those cobwebs in the boy's head. So as long as you're on the pitch, I'll leave you alone, headed towards the goal. But if you're not, I come and you'll think that fucking a buffalo ran over you. But some of you have actually turned around, just like in Forrest Gump, and started running the wrong fucking way. I wouldn't believe it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. Because a lot of people pretend, they think they want to be successful. They don't even connote what the sacrifice you have to make. Some people just like the adulation, the cheers. And the crowd will yell real loud if you start going the wrong way. Hey, idiot! And then when you get down to the goal line, which is called the red zone, in some athletic endeavors. Then I get really more involved, and I'm directing you, your dream team, your chairman, to make sure you don't fuck it up. Because you only have so many shots at goals in life. It's not like the movies. And so, and I know when you punch it into the net, you get it across the goal line, it's a feeling that you know, and that's the muscle memory we want to teach you. That muscle memory. Like the muscle memory that young Josh, the teenager, and some of these other guys have got now. And then pretty soon, the muscle memory, that's all you remember. I've had hundreds of failures. Every year I fail at something. Last year I failed at, 15, 20 things I thought were great ideas, didn't work out. But nobody's interested in any of those. They're only interested in the successes. And the things that you worry about, what is my wife going to say? What's my dad going to say? What would they think at work, et cetera, pales into insignificance as you build up successes. Very few people remember that Bill Gates thought the internet was a joke. Very few people remember that he thought 640 was plenty, and we're going to give you 8 gigs of stuff. A journey and act of traveling from one place to another, process, a series of actions or steps taken in order to achieve a particular end. Each one of you will have different goals, and we'll talk about goal setting, affirmations, etc. But all of the systems will be directed towards that end result, that specific goal. Whether it's to be, it's like one or two of you that want to be a world-class athlete in some endeavor, whether it's that or creating generational wealth. And then, for those of you that are interested in generational wealth, then you take your generational wealth, and if you want to save the fucking planet, God love you. That's not my deal. And I told you global warming's a load of shite. 6 years ago, Sally and I were in the South Pole getting our vows renewed. We've been married at the North and South Pole, so we're bipolar now. But anyway, so we're at the South Pole, and there's a big $500 million scientific center there, mostly paid by Americans, by the USA. And the scientists come in, and they're really weird guys. I mean, hair like Einstein, wearing flip-flops, shorts, 40 below zero. Weird. These are weird fucks. So they're in there giving us a lecture on, most people don't realize the South Pole's on a mountaintop. So at base, the flatness is about 10, 12,000 feet. So there's a lot of shortage of oxygen for a lot of people. A lot of fit guys like you with your six-packs were throwing up because you couldn't stand it up there. And they're giving us lectures. And they've drilled about 10 or 12,000 cores in the ice. And they're going from core to core. And then they put this core up on the table here. And they said, and 300,000 years ago and 55,000 years ago, it was 2 degrees warmer Celsius than it is today. So, they keep... Stop. Professor, idiot, I mean, what do you mean? 2 degrees Celsius or 3.2 degrees Fahrenheit warmer 55,000 years ago than today. This was December 2011. Now, if it was 2 degrees Celsius warmer at the South Pole 55,000 years ago, listen up, Four Eyes, 55,000 years ago, what does that tell you? It tells you that climate is cyclical. And right now, I'm not saying, as Joe Rogan pointed out, I'm not saying we're not helping it along, but it was going to be warmer anyway. So how much has mankind increased or exacerbated that fact? 0.5 degree, 0.75 degree, but it was going to be warmer anyway. But I take my hat off to Al Gore, fucking smart fucker, he got rich over that. God, I'll be with him. I'm happy for him. I wish I had thought of it. That's why I'm pretty confident when I say about global warming. But a lot of people have made a lot of money off of it. I'm just sorry that I'm not one of them. I wish I had thought of the scam myself. As long as legal, moral, and ethical, anything goes with QLA. Sweat more in training and bleed less in combat. This is a Ranger thing. We will train until, your eyes fall out. And by train, I mean practice. What differentiates me and why I'm a world-class speaker now is because I made a lot of poor speeches in my career. I emptied out rooms. I had people throw dinner plates at me. Because a combination of either they didn't want to hear what I had to say, which is not dissimilar to today, and or the way I spoke. I got an F in public speaking in high school, and I got an F in public speaking in university. And the second time I took to try to make up the F in university, I got a D. And by anybody's definition, I'm a world-class speaker now. But I've made a lot of bad speeches, not counting the subject matter that they didn't much like hearing many times. Just like when I go to speak in front of the black group later on this year, which will remain nameless because of death threats, and we'll see how they absorb my talk to them about blackness, because I am 6.6% black. Brothers. Sally had to check our DNA. You know how you see these things on DNA? From Harmony or Fucking, whatever those things are. So we sent our DNA, and I came back 5.5% black. I said, well, that's a load of shit. Something's wrong. Sally came up 100% neo-Nazi Viking fucking, she doesn't have anything, but she has not one shade of anything other than white in her whole body. Okay. So we sent it back. Oh, this time we spent a lot of money sending it back. Come on, 6.6. I went from 5.5 to the sophisticated test to 6.6% black. My aunt, God rest her soul, she was 98, we're there visiting her, and we start planning her 100th birthday. And as soon as we start planning her 100th birthday, she passed away, unfortunately. But while we were there in Hawaii, she said to me, she says, at 98, she's saying this in Spanish, she said, at 98, I don't need to be black. At 98. And now, I don't think that's what killed her, because she died shortly thereafter, but my family's less than thrilled. So when I go down to talk to the brothers, maybe I'll get dressed up like, one of those fucking idiots, Black Panthers. Do they still have Black Panthers? Yeah? Maybe I'll get dressed up, put a bandana on, that kind of shit. Carry I have a M14. I'll carry my M14, so I'm going to make a speech. It'll be up on my website. They told me that I should consider additional security. It'll be fun. As Sally would say, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Okay, YouTubers, we'll see you tonight.